Most people think Taylor Swift is confident because she's successful. I believe it's the other way around. She's successful because she's learned how to stay steady and grounded while being watched, judged, misunderstood, without allowing any of it to hijack her sense of self. You know, we've been sold a very loud version of confidence. It's like chest out, fake it till you make it, be unshakable, be untouchable. Taylor Swift's confidence is so much quieter than that and far more powerful because it doesn't come from avoiding judgment or criticism. It comes from knowing how to actually stand in the fire without losing yourself. And one of the biggest reasons her confidence feels so rock solid is that she doesn't try to outgrow her past. She reclaims it and owns every single part of what happened to her. And most people believe that confidence comes from leaving old versions of you behind and pretending that you've evolved past your mistakes or past your criticisms or past your eras that you'd rather forget. Taylor Swift does the opposite. She re-records her albums. She references old chapters, old narratives, old judgments. She doesn't erase them. She integrates them and she makes them a massive part of who she is today by owning every single thing that happened to her in the past. That is bravery, and it's also a really powerful confidence move. Because when you own your story like that, no one can take it away, no one can twist it, and no one can change it. And it's a powerful communication move as well, because true confidence isn't pretending you've never been judged. It's deciding that that judgment is not going to ever define you. And when we struggle with that judgment and we struggle to want to actually own it, everyone can feel it. We can see it in others and we can also feel it ourselves. And when it comes to any kind of communication, people can feel when you're being incongruent. And congruence means, do my thoughts, do my energy, does my body, do my words, does everything align in the same direction? And we might not always have the words to spot incongruence, but we know it, we can feel it. Whereas Taylor Swift is congruent in everything. She means what she says, she means what she sings, and even when she sings songs from her past, she is so in the moment in those tracks that we can feel that emotion. Her song Anti-Hero is a masterclass in something that most people are terrified to do, which is own their flaws before everyone else has a chance to. When Taylor essentially says, I'm the problem, she's not actually tearing herself down. She's removing the buzz and the sting of criticism by actually naming it herself and getting there first. It's an incredible move because most people, if they struggle with confidence, often, as I said, they're trying to hide some of the things that they're scared others will actually notice. So in those moments, we will over-explain or we'll defend, or we hope that we don't actually get attacked. So we try to avoid parts of ourselves, who we are now or who we were in the past, so that we can avoid that sort of confrontation. And that creates tension, whereas Taylor does the opposite. She names the thing very calmly, very rhythmically, almost playfully, and with a sense of enjoyment, and suddenly that judgment loses its power. Because when you acknowledge imperfections without shame, without judgment, without a sense of pressure, it's self-trust. It's saying, I know myself, you don't need to expose me because I'm going to actually call it out before you do. And that is why Anti-Hero feels so confident. There's not even a flicker of insecurity there. It is self-awareness without self-criticism. The other thing that Taylor does so well is that she actually narrates and owns her story before anyone else can. Or if anyone has tried to, she will go and write a song about it and reclaim it for herself. In her songs, in her speeches, and even in her humor, she speaks directly to the audience and her fans about her experience. She doesn't wait for commentary to arrive, she actually lays the foundation first. And when you do that, you take the power away from anything that you're afraid of. I mean, Blank Space takes this even further. Like, instead of fighting the labels that have been placed on her, she actually exaggerates them. It's genius. She turns them almost into satire, where suddenly she's not defending herself, she's actually writing the script. The crazy, dramatic, serial data storyline is actually dialed up so far it becomes absurd. And that is not insecurity, that is control, that is mastery, that is actually comedy. The comedy technique of exaggeration is where you make something so outrageous and so ridiculous and so insane that it becomes funny. So in this case, she's owning confidence through owning her narrative. She doesn't need approval from others, and she's saying, this is my version of how I want to tell this particular thing in life. And it's masterful because when you stop trying to be liked and you start aligning yourself, it's irresistible. When you're reactive to every label that's out there, it's a stressful mode to be in. But when you can actually play with the narrative, you move into ownership or even authorship. In Blank Space, Taylor isn't asking for any approval. She's showing that she understands the story and that she's not threatened by it at all. And this is why her work, in so many ways, is such a gold mine for all of us to learn about confidence, because most of our inner critic is fueled by imagined judgment. What are they going to think? What are they going to say? What if I look stupid? What if I get it wrong? Whereas Taylor's confidence shows us that it's not about silencing those thoughts. It's about taking their microphone away, owning them and creating your own narrative around them, and then being so comfortable and so confident in that you can even make fun of it and be playful with it. You know, when you name your fear instead of trying to hide from it, it shrinks, it takes its power away. And when you stop trying to prove yourself to others, that is where true confidence lives. Another big aspect that Taylor owns completely is vulnerability. And she's vulnerable, but she never apologizes for it, which is a power move. So Anti-Hero works so well from a confidence perspective because it is reflective and empowered, but she doesn't bow down to the criticism. And Blank Space works from a confidence perspective because it's super playful, but it's not defensive. There's no apology for existing or being who she is or for the stuff that happened. There's just this beautiful sense of ownership. So, you know, most people think that confidence comes after success, whereas Taylor Swift shows us that it often comes before it, through self-trust, through controlling the narrative, through writing your own story, through emotional clarity. You know, she never waited for judgment to stop. She just decided that whatever judgment and criticism is out there is not going to impact me or the experience that I'm creating, the songs that I'm writing, and the connection I have with my fans. And that's something that every single person observing, all of us can watch and apply to our lives, because you don't need a stage and you don't need a spotlight. You just need the courage to say, this is who I am, without having to give it any justification. You know, you don't build confidence by becoming someone new. You build it by standing so comfortably in who you already are, and that of course includes every single thing that's happened to you in the past. I believe we need to own every single thing that we've gone through, because your differences, your quirks, your individuality, your stories, your lessons, your experience, all of that makes you the incredible person that you are right now. And when it comes to communication and confidence and expression, we need to channel all of our differences into our major strengths rather than be embarrassed by them or think there's something wrong with us because we're different. There are so many more lessons that we can learn from Taylor Swift. I've really only touched on 2 songs. If there are any songs that you want me to look at and analyze, let me know in the comments below. Or if there's another artist you want me to have a look at to see what lessons we can learn about confidence from their life and their music, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.